Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Dragon's Tome, the show where we read old dragon magazines. We started at one. We're going to keep going until we've decided we've had enough. Um, right now, we're going to do 182. It's June 1992 by the uh, time of the release of this magazine. So get in your Wayback Machine with my two compatriots here, Rob Chopper. And so boys, what do you think about the cover, the 16th anniversary cover?
It's great. Very
It's
detailed. This
it's
dragon.
it's Paul by Paul Jacquet, and that's their children. That's why the children look so. That's their actual children. So the
Yeah.
dragons. That's a
Now, are they
gold
friends
dragon.
with the dragon? Is the gold dragon protecting them?
I think they're all friends. They all look the other.
There's a white. There's a white dragon here and a blue dragon, which are bad
Yeah,
dragons.
but they're only little. They're only
Yeah,
babies.
they're little.
Babies are innocent, Pat. They're
Is
not
that
born evil.
hmm, is that a black dragon in the back?
Oh, it's got to be black.
Oh, look, and this green one is threatening the young girl. Look at her. Look at
she
he's mean mugging her.
she's smiling
Urgh.
though.
I
Yeah.
I believe there is no malicious intent in this painting. I just see. I wish the scan was a bit better. You can tell it's a bit rasterized. You can see the like it looks a little blocky. I'm sure it was even better in real life.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's obviously a painting, but yeah, it's cool. It's
Yes, not in real life as though it was a photograph.
No, I meant in real life, as in it was a
What?
painting, not just
Yes.
There's no dragons?
Yes.
I like how the anniversary issues always have a dragon, and this one doesn't fail. We don't get to see many gold dragons.
It's true.
And we don't get to see dragons nowadays that have this type of dragon. This is anachronism now. All the new dragons from all the new manuals don't have this look.
Yeah, this was like the who was it? Was it Caldwell? One of those guys developed the dragon head where it looks like this with the spikes and everything.
Yeah.
I think it was Caldwell. Anyways, if not, comment below because we do
Pat,
enjoy the
yeah,
comments.
you want to email him? See if he's the one who invented
I'll
it.
ask him. Did you invent the dragon head?
It might have been Elmore, but I don't think so. I think it was Caldwell.
Well,
Okay.
it's one of those two guys. I mean, if you were a betting man, I would. It's 50-50 either one of those guys, right?
Yeah. If you watch that Eye of the Beholder documentary, they do mention that. I just can't remember because it was a while ago. I watched that probably a couple years.
Yeah, I watched that a long time ago too.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, go check it out. If
I
you
think
want to
it's
learn
on-
about
I
all
think
the
it's on
art
Prime.
in TSR, it's
Yeah,
a
it
very
was
good
really
documentary.
good. Yeah, really interesting.
It was. Okay, that's the cover. Now it is customary that we each choose two articles and then an ad to discuss. So I think, what about young Robert? What's your first article that you were going to take a peek at?
I'm gonna say
Ah,
page 8.
yep, page 8. We're going the editorial.
Oh, how dare you?
This one's kind of funny because so I guess Dragon got sent a catalog and samples from this company that was doing these pamphlets, and these pamphlets are just crazy. So Roger E. Moore decided to just go through them all and say how crazy they were. And he's like, thanks to Glenn Palmer for sending me this stuff from Chick Publications because I get to. He said I don't think he expected the results or the response that he's about to get, but yeah. So there's a famous pamphlet called The Dark Dungeons, which has been going around, I guess, for a long time, and is pretty famous at this point at the time. That it's saying that playing RPGs will give you occult powers and all this stuff.
Yes.
And I think from a anti role playing game stance, he doesn't really mention it because I guess that you're supposed to know what this pamphlet is because everybody's seen it, I guess. But
I don't remember this thing honestly.
he said it was just like all over, like every Gen Con, somebody's just dropping these everywhere like it's garbage.
Oh.
They're called Chick Tracts, and I highly recommend you look them up. I have read every one, and they are fantastic.
You've actually
It's
read all
true.
these, Jack?
Oh, they are the. It's a fundamental, like a not even evangelical Christian. It's a very, and this guy Jack Chick, he was if you see a meme that's black and white and it looks a little off, it's probably
From one of these
a
pamphlets.
yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I guess the reason of a pamphlet saying how to do guerrilla marketing by putting pamphlets all around town, like that's what their thing was. But they have like anti everything books, like anti masonry, rock, evolution, Hindu, Wiccan, Judaism, Mormons, Jehovah's Witness, Roman Catholics. Like they just go against everybody.
They used to give them out
And Christian rock music, apparently it says.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
on Halloween. They would instead of candy, they would these crazy people would put these out. And yes, they are wild.
Unhinged. Yeah, they
Yes,
said there's,
unhinged.
yeah, there's one about the Catholic Communion wafer that's entitled the Death Cookie.
That's funny. I'm going to look these up because I honestly don't remember these things. I don't remember seeing them.
I like how Jack actually knows about this because it's some kind of meme now.
Which is weird too, because this guy apparently is out of California, and in '92 I was still in California
Were you part of this
for
cult?
college. No, I don't know why I didn't see any of these things. Let me take that back. Maybe I've forgotten. I'll have to read a couple more, but as of right now, I do not remember any of these things flying around. Even at any of the cons I went to in California.
Well, it's probably you probably saw them and were like, okay, this is crap, and I'm just throwing it away. You're like, you didn't even think about it.
Maybe.
Like how often do you see like religious publications that are stuffed in doorways and stuff that you're just like, I'm even looking at this, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
About maybe 8 or 9 years ago, maybe I followed a YouTube channel, and these two guys would just start reading it, and they would do like they would read it out.
Maybe
Like
when we finish the end of Dragon Magazine, the Dragon's Tome, last episode, we should segue into Dark Dungeon's Tome.
Yes.
But yeah, so you discovered these many years ago, Jack. I'm amazed, but it's
wild.
crazy. Yeah, it sounds wild, and I like how Roger just put it out in public for everybody to make fun of him.
I'm not surprised at this time, a day and age, at this point, in '92, that this. I'm not surprised that this is out.
Yeah, it's hilarious, but fun times. That's the editorial. A word of warning about a word of warning. So there you go.
Okay, well then, that is Rob's first article, and for a brief moment there, I forgot that I was in charge of this episode.
I do that every time.
I do too, also.
I was enjoying your company. Haven't seen you both for a little bit, and I got distracted, and I apologize to you and to the.
He got lost in our eyes.
Yes. So, Patrick, come on, bring the heat.
All right, let's go to page 19.
Oh, you confused me. 9, 90, or 19?
19.
19.
The Vikings Dragons by Gene Rabb.
Jean Rabb.
This is just a kind of overview of Norse Great Serpents or Dragons, mainly based out of the Vikings campaign source book, which I never had. I didn't have the Viking source book for those. What would we call those again? Those
the historicals. Yeah, the blue ones were the historicals. I never had any of those. I had Arms and Armor, which was blue, but that didn't take account.
But it was a nice little read on.
Were they blue or green? I think the historicals were green.
They're blue.
Were they?
Yeah, because there's a picture of one of these. I think the Viking one, and it's blue.
Yeah.
In an ad. The arms and equipment was green, I think.
No, Arms and Armor it was blue because I had it.
Oh, maybe it is green then.
Yeah, I think the campaign ones are green. I think.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes over what the history of the dragons and they're called Linorms. They're basically like regular dragons, but they're flightless. They have legs. For campaign purposes, they age and are the same as D&D dragons, evil. They do talk about how they think that the eldest of the Linorms are kind of insane from solitude and obsession of wealth, that they kind of go crazy after a while. But they don't have any psionic or telepathic powers. And it goes through the lore in there. It talks about the one worm that was one of the venerable worms was killed by Sigurd and his little tails and all that stuff. and talks about how you should use these dragons slightly sparingly because they're very clever and pretty rough. Um, and then it goes into the Monsters Compendium type layouts of the different Linorms. Some of these are ugly, like this fourth Linorm is just the head and
Long
body.
neck. Yeah, it's like a snake almost.
Yeah,
If the theory is that the dragons are explanations for bones and fossils that were found, like the Norse must have found a lot of like dead whales
big,
washing
yeah,
up or something like that, because a lot of them
or
have these,
giant eels.
yeah, these big long necks and stuff. Like it's not the least bit dragony that, from the cover. If remember, we were just talking about the
Mm-hmm.
Dungeons and Dragons kind of stock dragon look.
Hmm.
That's not these boys.
Yeah, and it goes over the basics. You got your land, you got your sea. There's a forest one that looks kind of weird. It looks like a frog almost, or it looks like a moray eel with legs. Uh, but yeah, it's if you're looking for new dragons, this is a very nice little article. Plus, you get your own Monsters Compendium stat sheets, which you can copy and hole punch.
Yeah, that's
Put them
always
in
fun.
your. Actually, if you look at some of these, they actually have the hole punch. It was scanned
Holes.
on the side of
Yeah.
it.
But at first, you could tell by the way everything was justified to the one side, like it was so that you could punch it. And I was like, oh, okay, but I would have preferred them to have the holes. But then when the holes were there, I thought, well, okay, well, maybe when you scan them all you
Yeah,
need was to line up the one, punch them
Mm-hmm.
all at the same time.
Yeah, it might. Maybe that's why.
That's
Yeah,
yeah,
it
just
makes
yes.
sense. Because they're
yeah,
double sided. Obviously, that's why they're, like you say, justified
yeah.
that way.
So, and just like in the Monster Companion, you get a whole bunch of information on these things. You get how they fight with the society, the ecologies, and everything. So, it it's a nice alternative if you're looking for drag. Or I never was a part of it. Or your dungeon campaign is a Viking-esque type world, and you're using the campaign book.
Yeah, for sure. This is because I think it says there is some description in the campaign book, but this expands upon it. So
Yeah. So, but that's it. Linorms. Do you think it's
Linorms,
Linorms or Linorms?
I
Linorms, I
don't
believe.
know.
I'm not Scandinavian, so I
If
couldn't
you
tell you.
know, comment below.
All I
Yeah.
know is that's part one, so part two is on its way for some more Linorms.
What? No. Spoilers.
Yes.
Spoilers. Um,
Spoilers.
okay, where did I put my notes? There they
Jack's
are.
like, it's my turn. What? I never
It's
read this
my
magazine.
turn. Spoilers. Okay. Um, if we could go to page 47 on the PDF.
It's one
Oh,
of mine.
I think that's my last one. You stole it.
Ooh, that's bad. Okay, well, we can all discuss. We can all discuss. First of all,
Yes. Let me just point out that I did put Jack in my notes
Jack.
for
I
this
should
article.
be in everyone's notes. Okay, The Wild Wild World of Dice by Michael J. Delfonsi. And it is, I guess, in response to what must be the new we're talking 16 years of Dragon Magazine. Dungeons and Dragons came out before that. The splendidness that is dice have gone from something you would have to search out, make a quest to find some, and you just needed the one set. That's all you'd need. Maybe even on the table. So apparently, this is the time of the Dice Goblin appearing. Oh, Rob's gonna his. Oh, is that what we're doing?
That's my
Mine's all
excess dice.
downstairs.
That's not even my actual dice. My actual dice is in a dice box. Those are my extra dice.
Okay, well,
I did not go for anything in that one.
Yeah, I'm not going downstairs to get dice.
Oh, that's a classic dice bag. That he's had that bag since he was a child.
this was my first dice bag.
I'm actually quite surprised the amount of dice you have, Jack.
Jack
You know-
isn't immune to dice goblinry.
So then my notes are wrong because in my notes they say this article is pretty much most gamers now, even back then. But I said probably not Jack because he doesn't hoard.
Oh, he hoards
I-
dice.
I don't hoard. My problem comes from I had the set that came with the red box. Then I needed a set in the tube, which I still have in there in the tube that I could take someplace. And sometimes you move and you can't find them. It's I'm not the worst offender, but I'm not innocent either
Yeah,
because I do have a D100 in there, a D30, like
but
a lot of nonsense
yeah,
too.
I don't even
reading
think I
this
own a
thing,
D100.
I'm pretty much every one of these things in this article,
Every single one.
except
You're
for the
also.
superstitious.
Oh,
I don't
I
have
was
the
going to say, are
superstition
you
on
are
that.
you the cheater where you buy the loaded dice?
I do have a set of loaded dice, yeah, but I would never really use them.
That's how he wins these games, Jack.
But also, I D&D isn't my
And my
sole
loaded dice
theme.
are just 6-sided dice, so
Yeah, it's hard to get non-6 dice loaded.
yeah.
So you start throwing some dread ball in there, some dead zone. Yeah, you
Kings
need
of War.
like
You need
a
like
ton
30
of dice.
dice. Yeah.
So
Yeah, dice
yeah,
for every army, dice set for every game.
I haven't done that.
Oh,
Um,
I did.
but
I still
okay,
do. I still do.
yeah, and I think well, actually, that brings me to the first one and why Rob has a set of dice. So we're gonna go through. It's just a few. So I'm gonna go with each one. Superstitions, and we're all superstitious to a degree. He says, I don't know about that. This doesn't equate to me, but um, young Robert bought a set of dice so that he could put them on Gary
Oh
Gygax's
yeah, that's right.
Oh
uh,
yeah, that's slightly superstitious, but it's a good superstitious.
Well, it's more of
yeah.
a tribute. I would call it more a tribute. It
Tribute. Yeah, I
wasn't.
would call them a
I,
tribute.
I would never probably ever use those dice. It's just more of a hey, look, I
And I
took a
did
picture
it.
of Gary
And
Gygax's memorial, or it's a memorial, I guess it is at
it's memorial plaque at the harbor.
Harbor, yeah, in
They haven't. I don't
Geneva.
think they put the statue up yet. There's another trip we have to do to roll dice on the table where it's a picnic table.
Yeah.
Where his statue will be.
We probably will have to go back to that Airbnb we stayed at and do that whole
Yeah.
thing again. I
It
think
was
we're gonna
fun.
have to do that.
I almost died from cooking charcoal. It was great. Good
Yes.
steaks though.
Uh, Rob had a 10-pack a day habit that day.
I wonder.
Um,
I have
I will say
issues from that.
Since we're talking superstitions, I did. I've talked about my friend Don, who's passed on. He was also one of those superstitious guys. Like he was convinced that this one, I forget where we were at. We were playing something, and it was maybe it was a D&D tournament. We were at like 6 tables in a like a conference room, and he was convinced that his dice were cursed. And I guess he rolled really bad. And next thing you know, I hear dice scattering on the floor.
Just whipped them.
And then so we're talking about it, and then we were talking about it. He goes, "Yeah, I just threw those dice." And then some guy that was sitting next at the table over, like at the cafeteria, goes, "Oh, were those your dice that hit me in the feet?"
Yeah.
We never saw those dice again. It just stayed in somewhere in L.A.
okay, number 2, specific dice.
That's me. Hands up.
So
Every army has to have a dice.
and it says some people they have to have the opaque, they have to have the there's certain dice for games, there's certain dice for what you want to do with it, certain dice for aesthetics. So depending on your mood, then you get a couple more sets of dice there. Strange habits. Now, strange habits, he says that he knows people that would sleep with them under the pillow.
Yeah, I thought
Do
it was
not
funny.
have strange habits. Do not have that one.
Oh come on! You don't blow on your dice? Come on!
No.
Oh yeah, gotta blow
I
the
will.
dice.
Sometimes I will double handshake, but I don't think that's a strange habit.
I've been known to say luck make me a lady tonight
Yes,
a couple times.
Look, make me a lady tonight.
and much to Jack's chagrin, I do play with the dice.
Yes, yes. So
I do play, but I think that's more just fidgeting than
Yeah,
strange.
that
habit.
is definitely ADHD, not to strange. Well, it is a strange habit, I guess, but
next, dice bags. We both displayed our dice bags.
I have several types of dice
Yeah,
bags.
I have tons of dice bags.
I have scroll tubes that roll out to be a dice rolling mat.
I actually lost my original dice bag. It was a zipper, like it was like a hacky sack bag or something I had. and I don't even know where all
Yeah,
those
I have
guys.
my original dice bag. It was a friend of mine's wife made them for us in our gaming group. It was just basically a kind of like a red satin. I think it was left over from a Renaissance fair costume cloth. She
Mm.
just put together dice bags for us. It was nice.
Yeah, that obviously everybody had the Crown Royal. That was the classic.
I still have two. I have a green and a purple.
I like how it was like, yeah, you have to find your friend with the alcoholic father.
Well, you know what the cool thing is that sometimes you'll actually go and people will just sell Crown Royal bags for like $5.
Oh yeah. Uh,
It's
yeah. Now
yeah,
also,
it's one of those things that like it's perfect for something hard to get is right there. Like it why wouldn't you?
yeah.
Yeah,
Does even Crown Royal even come in a bag anymore? I don't think it does.
I
No,
don't know.
No.
I haven't bought Crown Royal in a while. That's
no, I don't think
Canadian.
it
Who
does.
buys Canadian whiskey?
Uh, I like. Yeah, he also says there's the fancy bags and boxes. Like that is a whole industry now. Like you go to like
Oh my God!
Dwarven Forge and all those
You
guys
talk
with their
about yeah, and then the amount of since
wooden
we're going through
boxes
this
with
and we're
magnets.
talking about dice bags, my my last of my notes it says the only thing missing in this dice bag section is dice towers and trays.
Yeah.
This was the cusp, the starting.
Yes. So I don't even think trays or towers are even a thing.
Oh, towers
I
are a
think
thing. We've seen some,
we've
but
seen them,
have we? I don't remember.
but I don't believe they
they weren't common.
prevalent enough that this
Yes,
guy like
and
we're
I
at the
don't
tip of
remember
the
seeing
spear.
trays back then.
No,
You just
trays
roll
at
on
a.
the table.
Well, it does say because he does say the one in the superstitions he said it might the DM would throw the dice and if it rolled out of the tray he called them chaotic and throw them in the garbage because they were chaotic dice. So there is dice trays, but
Right.
it's not like now. I don't think with the
It's not
folding
like where
dice trays.
you get a
It's
dice tray for every
yeah,
Kickstarter you put.
or like
Yeah.
I bet back then it was just a bowl you used or whatever, like just
Yeah.
something, just a
Next, too many dice, and that is
hoarding.
like
Yes.
we've just discussed.
Yeah.
That's
I have
gonna
too
happen.
many dice, but I don't bring too many dice.
No, that's the key. Yeah, that comes in the end note. So he says, yeah, you can have all the dice you want. Just bring the ones you need to the game. Don't bring them all.
Yeah, like when
So
we
he
did
said
the,
one time he got dropped all his dice on the table and it just covered the whole table. And it's like, no.
like when we did Nerdo, we didn't bring a lot of dice. We all brought just exactly what we needed. I think I only brought 2 sets.
I brought
Well,
a set for everyone. So
Rob brought the set so we could play with a new set of dice at the at Gary Gygax's house.
Oh yeah,
So-
yeah, yeah.
So that yet another set of dice.
I added to Jack's hoarding.
Yeah. But that's a nice. They were smaller set,
Yeah, it was
Like
just
the
a little
dice
baggy
was-
and yeah.
and it came with a nice little bag inside. That'd be perfect. Stick in your pocket. Go to game night. And so yeah, and again, we're not seeing now. There's dice jails now. There's like
Crazy
there's a
stuff,
whole This is the beginning of the nerd the need to I don't know.
Well, it's
I
an
don't know
industry
what
on itself is dice. Like back then, I think there's probably 3 companies maybe like making
Yeah.
dice. Now it's like
Now
thousands of
there's metal
companies.
dice,
Yeah,
Baron dice, and there's that Kickstarter I got sold for hundreds of dollars for Dragon Eye dice.
That you never got.
I still haven't got them.
Wow,
A whole bunch of us still haven't got them.
wow.
I doubt even it's going to even happen now with these tariff things since they're coming from China.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So well,
Well, you better get yours, or we'll put them on blast right here for all of our 150 subscribers.
we can put them on blast. Spider-Man Games, they failed everyone.
We'll
I did put them on
He
blast.
names
I'm not super bitter. Not it's a Kickstarter, so you take your chances. Rob's had a couple failed ones. This will be my second failed Kickstarter.
It's just a factual thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just won't buy stuff from them anymore.
Well, they're probably not going to be around anymore. A lot of companies are disappearing right now.
Yeah. Okay, so that was my article. Now I know no one else had mine, so when we swing back to Rob, he's going to have his second article.
Do the dragon's bestiary.
I don't even think there was anything good in the Dragon's Bestiary this time.
No, those dragons were horrible.
Let's look. Let's look in the Dragon's Bestiary if there's anything. There's a guy in a
Rob.
there's a guy in a dragon. He's flying. It's on page 105, and he hit a bug like you do on a bike. That's pretty funny. I don't understand the one below it.
Oh, you're talking Dragon Mirth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand the one with the tower. I wish we had indoor plumbing. I don't know what that means. I didn't.
Oh, because the outhouse is in the back.
Yeah, but
The little outhouse castle.
yeah, but the dragons
he
are
has
going to
he's
kill
got-
them
he's-
all.
No, he's got to poop because the dragon out there scared him.
Oh, I get it now.
And he can't go to the outhouse because the dragon will eat him. So he's
He's got to
clenching.
hold it in.
That is pretty funny. The first one that on page 104, when the dragon's like, "Ooh, trail mix." It's a bunch of adventures on a trail. That's pretty funny.
That's pretty funny.
Anyways, yeah, that was my second article.
Okay. That was a seamless transition too, Rob. No one could possibly say that was
That was
just
always
a Hail
planned.
Mary to fill
Yep.
time. That was a okay. Patrick, what's your number dose?
No, it should be 80 Trace.
I don't speak your
I'm
French
actually going
language.
to talk about the Marvel file.
Ooh.
I was actually kind of tickled pink with this article because the Land of Doom has come out, or is coming out.
Yeah,
the Marvel
it's a box
superheroes,
set, I
and
believe.
it was a little equipment list for Marvel RPG. And what I really liked about this article, it gave you the equipment for the game, how it works, and not only that, where it shows up in the comic books, so you can go back and look at it and see how it worked in the comic books.
Oh, it actually gives you a page. That's cool. This
Yeah,
is like
I
just
thought
like
that was cool.
just like the Forgotten Realms ones that they couldn't fit in the book. That's what this is for
Mhm.
for the Marvel
Yeah.
for the books of Doom, Lands of Doom.
And it's really cool because this is the flexing staff. Like I've never really seen him use a staff, but apparently it showed up in Fantastic Four 352. So
There you
if
go.
I had all the Fantastic Four comic books, I'd have to look at 352 and see what it looked like.
Same with the entropic inducer is also from that same issue. So, and
No,
so
look
is
at
the null sequencer. Like they're all from the same freaking issue. Yeah, all of
So,
them.
but I
The
thought it
nose
was pretty
plugs too.
neat.
That
Yeah.
issue, you must have been just showing off shit. Like,
It must have been his armory, but yeah, it's and there's some cool equipment. Doctor Doom, smart guy. You know what I'm saying? Smarter than Tony Stark, maybe. Oh,
Oh,
not as smart as Reed
or the
Richards.
same guy.
Oh.
Oh,
Spoilers.
so, but I never played the advanced superheroes. I only played the first edition.
Yeah. I
So,
don't think I ever played advanced either. We always played basic.
yeah. So,
I don't think there was
I
much
did-
difference though. I
I
think
did find this Marvel file very interesting just because of the equipment and how it fits in, and they're all very Doctor Doom-esque feelings with this article and stuff. The aesthetic nose plug, though, I can't figure out what. I'm still trying. I would like to look in the comic to see how it works. Are you supposed to put these things in someone's nose and then they get knocked out, or you knock them out first and then put them in their nose and they stay knocked out?
I assume that you would go, and
I think you put.
Yeah,
I
so
think you
come on.
put them on the person.
Because that's not how it says. Because it says
Yeah, because it
put them
victim will.
in
What?
it says you put them into a conscious victim.
Yeah, and the victim will awaken 1 to 3 rounds after the plugs are removed. So you're putting plugs in people's noses.
To keep them out. So you knock someone out, and then you put the thing to keep them out.
well, maybe it's for medical procedures and such. A willing person.
Yeah, it says keeping the victim unconscious. So I assume you knock them out first, and then you put the
Yeah.
plugs in to keep them unconscious. Funny.
Well, they don't. He earned his doctorate, so he's probably up to.
definitely got that. We're not sure if it's an MD or if it's a PhD, but he's got that.
He didn't go to 5 years of evil medical school to be called Mister.
That's right.
So that is my second article.
Okay, if we could go to page 7, please, for my second.
Is that the letters?
It's letters. The first one. It's called "First Things First," and this is Timothy Woods from Kentucky, and he is
I read this one.
talking about how he enjoys and prefers first edition, of the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and he's finding it difficult to find modules and books for it. And he's saying he can't even replace the books that he needs to replace. I don't know what he's doing with his books, but you know,
True.
it happens. What was that, Rob?
Nothing.
Um, uh, so I guess this must happen all the time. You can play the game in any edition you want, but if you want to replace what you've lost or buy more stuff, it's nice it's available. But I can't think of a time when a company moved on to another edition and
And
then
still
went.
sold the old stuff. Yeah.
Now my question,
Yeah, that's very, especially when everything is gearing towards the new stuff.
Yeah.
Why would they still write for the old edition?
Yeah.
That doesn't make no sense to me.
and modules, just you can do it yourself.
Yeah, why do you?
First edition
Yeah,
and
well-
second edition modular wise aren't that different. Like it's not.
It shouldn't be. But my question to you is it because TSR started a precedent with Dungeons and Dragons
I
and
was thinking
Advanced
that, yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're on the same page as me because it's not an outrageous question, but it is a bit odd, and it's only through the lens of what we know about TSR that it.
Yeah, because if you're just playing D&D, this is the first time there's ever been a second edition where you like where before it was D&D and then AD&D, right? There's no D&D. There's no. I guess technically there's D&D other editions, but not really. They're all just kind of D&D. But yeah, I can see that the guy's like, well, they still keep D&D around. Why don't you keep AD&D around instead of second edition? But it is a strange thing to look back on. You're like, obviously,
Yeah,
you're not going
I
to.
mean, I can get in that context.
Timothy Woods. I'm curious of his age. Maybe he's young. And
Yeah. Oh,
he said he's played since the early '80s, so he's not young. He's just an. Well, I'm not going to say he's from Kentucky, but he's from Kentucky.
yeah. And a follow up question: When Pat, when you played Dungeons and Dragons, was it Dungeons and Dragons that version agnostic and with no other input, or I remember when we played, it wasn't.
It was everything available.
It was 2.5, but we were making stuff work.
Yeah.
We were getting.
Yeah,
the best
I
If
mean,
we wanted
as
to play
far
a
as-
Cavalier, we're playing a Cavalier.
As far as second edition, I think I was in my group. I think I was the last to let go of first edition.
You're like, I want to play an assassin.
I
effort.
was that. I was just like, all this new, blah blah new rules. I was the last to get on board. But then when I was on board, we were all on board fully. So we all kept our first edition still around, but it was all just 2.5. We didn't. It wasn't like a.
We always mixed and matched.
Yeah, we didn't mix and match.
No. The only thing I can think of is if your party you were running a party and there's a cavalier, an assassin, a barbarian, and stuff, and
Yeah.
you're like, we gotta get to the next edition. Like we got.
Well, I played the barbarian first edition, so Tony, who was the guy who was running our D&D campaign, AD&D campaign, he put the kibosh, or he was more than happy
Because
to
it's
let me
the
play the
the
second,
second
edition.
edition. You're like, all of a sudden you can't
Barbarian.
kill everybody with one shot.
Yeah. So, and that might have been one of the reasons why I was so.
Because you're like, you're
Reluctant to
nerfing
let
my
go.
guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the barbarian in the second edition is not nearly as
No.
OP as the other one.
No. I think we can all agree when the Unearthed Arcana, when they came out with, there was some power creep there.
Oh yeah,
Power creep. It was a power leap.
it was
Yeah,
a stratosphere. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, and why say we didn't mix and match those? Because I think Tony, his was a homegrown campaign world, characters, NPCs and things like that. So we didn't, and he crossed it with Ravenloft from time to time. That was the intersetting change from time to time. So we didn't feel the need to have to go back to first edition stuff. Once I let go.
Once I let
you
go.
let go.
Once I let go, we all stop talking about first edition.
Okay.
What Timothy did need though is something a little thing called eBay because everything
Or
he wants
secondhand-
is
or
pretty much
secondhand books.
not anymore. You can't get anything at secondhand books.
Yes,
eBay though, that's
or
exactly
not
what
half price books.
solve all his issues is eBay. Just go in there, you'll find all these things pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Buy 2 or 3 copies of every book and then just
Well, I'm sure this letter is for him now. He's like, I can find everything I need now.
Yeah.
But there was no eBay back in '92.
Nope.
It was kind of hard to find used stuff there.
Yeah,
Unless you went to a used bookstore.
and got lucky,
Yeah.
or a Salvation Army or one of those.
Or a comic book store.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
had
old game stores that didn't get rid of their old stock. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
difficult to find old things or game conventions. That's where we would find all the old stuff because all the game
Oh, yeah.
conventions.
Game conventions in the dealer rooms, especially local game conventions. That was a good place to get old stuff.
they're
'Cause-
more than happy to have racks and racks of stuff for you to buy.
Just get rid of it. Yeah, I bought so many. Like if it was a bundle, I would buy it. Like I got every DC book. I got like it was just. I just love the bundle deals. It would just be like Sunday, I'm buying bundles.
Some
not
things never
Fingles.
change.
It's true. I like bundling everything.
Change.
Okay. Well, that was my second article. So I think it's time to go on to ads. Rob, you what say you?
Pat, do you have any more articles?
Nope. Jack sniped my
Oh, there we
third
go.
article.
Look at this, Jack. We're in schedule. My first ad. We're gonna go to page. Let's go to page 91. This is for me, and you guys can take the other two. So, if I can get to 91, come on, computer, you want to work? Jade Falcon sourcebook, just what Pat always wanted. The turkeys are back.
Cleanse.
The green turkeys. Yes, it's the clan sourcebook for Jade Falcons. The clan sourcebooks are out. I don't think I have Jade Falcons. I have Wolf for sure, but I never had the Jade Falcon one. I don't think. I probably do now, but I don't remember. Yeah, it was a fun little book that detailed the clans. Also had a bunch of color pages with all their uniforms and stuff, which I pored over because I loved at the time, getting color pages in a role-playing game book was odd, and like glossy colored pages, so it was like a, ooh, look
That's
at
why
this.
the Shadowrun book was so awesome. It had colored pages.
Yeah, that was Fassa did it right. Fassa was the man back then. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that the Jade Falcons are out. Long may they be dead because they suck.
The clans do suck, yes.
Jade Falcons suck.
Okay. I'm not up on your robot lore, so I don't know. I will
Just
not
know-
defend them if they're
There's
the.
no clans suck.
Jack, you should go to a very special podcast called Mobile Armor Radio. Maybe you can learn more about your robot lores.
You know what's
Mobile
funny
Armor
about that?
Radio.
I just guest starred on a mobile armor radio. I think it was 2 months ago. I don't know what number it is,
That never happened.
but yes.
I'll acknowledge Jack.
It was redacted. We actually deleted that episode.
I did say some things that were
Controversial, like robots suck.
yeah. Yes, but
He did call.
When
I'm
I
pretty sure he did
returned-
call our co-host dead. So
In canon.
yes. So I'm a bit of a scamp, a bit of a scoundrel, and I will never be invited back.
until
Okay,
Brian has another
so-
baby.
Had a baby, it's a boy.
It's a girl.
You're saying he's gonna have 2 girls?
Oh, next one? Oh, maybe. Who knows? No, he'll have one of each. He's very
He's
yeah,
very particular.
he's basic bitch.
Yeah, my show got redacted for saying he wasn't there because he died. Now we're gonna just start tearing him and his family apart like a. Whew.
It hurts to laugh.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't get offended by. I hope when I
I thought we were ready to move on, and Jack still.
Jack
Oh,
he
is that
thought
good?
Brian would be offended because I called him a basic bitch. I don't think so.
Oh no, that wouldn't. But that I said he was dead when I said,
Oh.
yeah, I'm stepping in, and I.
Oh, he was
hopefully-
definitely offended. He hates you now. Yeah, he
Oh,
wrote us a
okay.
heavily worded letter that I had to send to HR. It was not. It's on your file, Jack. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, the booth is saying that is correct, and I have to sign some stuff now. I don't know. Okay, how
After a year,
about
it goes off your. Don't worry. After a year, it goes off the record. So just gotta wait a year.
okay? So I just got to start marking the days.
Just be a big good boy for another year.
That's gonna be tough. Gonna be tough. Okay, Patrick, your ad.
My first ad will be page 46.
Yeah,
I
this is
don't
the
like
one
how
I.
you keep saying first ad.
This is the one I left for Pat because I knew he'd take this one.
I did too.
We're back to electronic dice rollers. Yay!
Yeah,
After the
this one's
Dragon
a
Bone.
range one. This one's
Range one
fancy.
is I'm going to call the successor. It's very simple. Looks like a little Coleco handheld toy game.
You hit a button, and the top it shows the result.
Yep. And you pick the dice, and then you hit roll. And it's even got a recall button.
Yep, it's got a lot of things. You can roll 2 dice at once, and it's got a lot of fancy little things. $40.
Yeah,
Pat, have you looked up?
$40.
Have you looked up this one? Maybe you can find this one.
I have not. No, I'm not only going to go for the Dragon Bone.
Yeah, you want the Dragon Bone still? Yeah.
Was the initial.
Yeah. If you're new to the show,
In
we used to be
92,
obsessed about
electronic dice rolling. 1980s is when we're looking for those.
Yeah, we were obsessed about the
Transistor.
Dragon Bone back in the day. So
Which, if it was in the first like couple years of us reviewing, this is the 16th anniversary. So like that could have been 14 years of Dragon Bone splendor.
There was. I did not stop to calling out any ads that reference the Dragon Bone because it disappeared for a little bit and then came back new and improved.
it's gone now.
The second color, crazy.
Expect a price
Yeah.
increase of this after Gen Con. So
Yeah,
$39.99
Jesus.
it's introductory price.
So I guess what they're saying is like this is going to be such a big hit after Gen Con and Origins. Everyone's going to want one. So
Please comment below if you've even heard of this thing or you had one, because
I don't think I've ever seen it.
it is patented. What is this? This is like the worst ad ever. Game science ad. It's like just a bunch of text. There's no artistry to this ad.
Um,
You're right,
An
Jack. What you got?
engineer wrote this ad. That's what happened.
it's got to be like a one-man mom and pop operation somewhere where the guy, I can solder, I can get some buttons made in Taiwan and we'll build this together, but I cannot do a proper layout for an ad.
Actually, now that I'm rereading this a bit closer, because I didn't read it all the way. Apparently, whoever makes this dice roller, they also make a game called Twerps.
No, Torp's Twack. It's like Star Trek, but it's
No. If you look at the first thing, it says new to Twerps.
no, it's a Torps. It's
Everything
like
better.
the GURPS, I think, but it's
And then
this is the Star Trek
Twerps
version.
Twack is.
Yeah.
Oh,
He does sell little pamphlets, it looks like, for other games and add-ons to games too. Whoever this gentleman may be.
Yeah.
okay. So, speaking of cheap knockoffs, if we could go to my ad, page 4,
4.
Dungeons and Dragons: The Goblin's Lair Adventure Pack. That's not a goblin.
It looks like
It
the
looks like
Githyanki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a Githyanki that they just stuck on the cover. How did they not know that we would like? How did they think they were getting away with this?
Because the Fiend Folio was AD&D, whereas Dungeons and Dragons didn't have a monster manual or Fiend Folio.
So yeah, people playing
Githyanki.
D&D didn't know what a Githyanki was.
I had to have been in. I don't know, but either way, that is not a goblin.
Fiend Folio.
I don't know what the.
Maybe it's a goblin in D&D.
Well, I'm not standing for it. This is Goblin Erasure. My friend John Goblicon would be horrified to see this representation, and I don't remember ever seeing this book, and I hope I never do.
This is a bad time to tell you that Pat bought you this book.
I did.
Better
Don't be
not
mad.
have.
Don't be mad.
Actually, at
It's
the
actually you have it already, Jack. It's in your Torg box. You didn't see it?
No, I would not. First of all, I don't believe we were playing Dungeons and Dragons at all. Like we
No.
were already years into AD&D.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't remember. I don't have anything with this new branding from like stock D&D, and I certainly like they've got the hair with the thing. They've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
the wrap.
It looks. I saw. It's a Githyanki with a monkey face. That's what this is.
They kind of just went, okay, well let's you just go in there, like they don't even give him a nose. They left the skull nose. They just went, okay, you just give it a little like a.
It's weird.
It is unacceptable.
Speaking of D&D though, Pat almost bought the black box that we were talking about. That's at Games Plus, but it
Oh
was
yeah, the
missing
only
pieces,
reason
wasn't it?
is it was missing dice.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
incomplete.
the black box starter box. We saw it there.
Everything was
It was
in
a
it
pretty good
except the
price.
dice.
I think it was only like
Yeah.
$40 or something, wasn't it? It was a pretty good price,
No,
but
it was,
no
it was
dice.
like $80.
No dice.
No dice. So.
No
Speaking
dice,
of
no
Torg,
dice.
let's go to page 26 then. Speaking of Torg, and yeah, Torg. It's got like these. There's so many things from Torg. Like it's just me, or it's like from a game that we didn't know exist. There were so many different supplements.
I think we knew it existed, but we just did not pay attention to it.
There's so much stuff. Like all the time, there's like new things coming out. I was like, I don't even remember this game. Like I remember it like just basically, but not.
I
not
remember seeing it, and I remember, but when none of us were ever interested in looking into it, I always see it in the bookshelf on the book racks at the game store.
Yeah, I just knew the name. I didn't know what it was about. I assumed it was like GURPS. I always thought it was a generic role playing game.
I
Yep.
I think we all saw that Torg, that letterhead, that we it was obviously like it was around, but none of us had the deep dive to go in and see. And
Yeah, and then for Jack's
Yeah.
birthday, I think it
Wow.
was, we bought him that pack, and we're like, that's got to be all of it. But no, we barely scratched the surface of the amount of Torg shit
No.
that's
Oh.
out there.
yeah, no,
It's crazy.
that thing that looks like the aliens from
It looks like the gremlin that got fed after midnight.
oh no
The Mogwai. That's what I wanted to say. It's the Mogwai.
No,
that got
yeah,
fed.
it does look. What does it look like, Jack? I know what you're talking about. It does look like something. I can't remember.
Welcome to Earth.
Oh, Independence Day?
Independence Day looks like the alien from Independence Day.
A little bit.
Um,
Yeah. And then the car looks like a Tesla. So there you go.
It's
and
like,
that third
it looks
book,
like the submarine Lotus from
Oh yeah, with the wheels in the back. Yeah.
from 007.
And then yeah, the ad is so bad you can't actually read any of the things or see what that other book is.
yeah, the scan.
Scan is
Not
not
great.
good. Yeah, it must have been a grayscale or something, and the scanning gray is not very well done.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Okay.
little Torg.
Well, speaking of Torg,
that should-
let's go to page 56.
What is going on here?
Just talking
Cosmic
about Torg.
Encounters.
More Cosmic Encounters. This is like one of my favorite games of ever, and this is the expansion for it, made by not Avalon Hill, by
Mayfair.
Mayfair Games.
Yeah.
We played this game when we weren't role playing. We played this game almost religiously.
What is it if it's not role playing?
It's a board game. You play an alien, a set of powers, and you got to try. Basically, you got to try and get 5 bases in 5 different systems.
Fifth base is butt stuff.
Yeah, it is. But then you play aliens, and then you can get even crazier by adding a second alien race to like you're a hybrid race, and it gets kind of crazy. So,
Yeah,
and there's like 200 something odd races in this. And when you put more cosmic encounters with cosmic encounters, then you have like 200 different kind of alien races. So
yeah, because this was the original expansions from I think it was Avalon Hill originally, Cosmic Encounters, and
no, it was Mayfair Games originally.
even
And
originally.
Avalon Hill got it, yeah.
Oh.
Because I have the Mayfair version, and I had the Avalon Hill one, but it was so horrible and so Parker Brothers out and dumbed down, and it just wasn't fun. So I got rid of it.
But yeah, this is the original version. This is all the expansions for that. So
Yeah,
fun Cosmic Encounters.
Didn't know. Okay,
As for my ad, no, I'm out of ads. I'm done.
that's gotta be it.
Me too.
That's gotta
We're
be.
we done.
Okay.
We done, Jack. We done.
We done, boo. We done.
Okay, that's good. We got to wrap this week up.
Wrap
So,
Wrap
thank
it
you
up.
for joining us for the Dragon's Tome. It's been our pleasure. I've been told to point down near the end of the show so that that means something to the kids.
Me. And click.
Comment below with all the things we asked that we never remember what we asked.
It's true.
And to that one guy who eventually will get here that keeps saying for the algorithm, I salute you, sir.
Yes.
There's someone going crazy. It happens every once in a while. Someone gets a. They say, "Well, I'm going to start at the beginning and watch all the way through." And yeah,
The one guy has. He watched from the beginning all the way he caught up to us.
It's crazy.
I can't. I have to. I forgot your name, sir. So I apologize. But thank you for watching and going through 180 episodes. Ugh.
I hope you're listening at double speed
Yes.
because that's how I listen to them.
I don't know how people can do that. Okay,
ADHD.
for the Dragon's Tome, I've been Jack.
I'm Chopper.
I'm Rob.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Hoopla.
Hoopity doo.
Ready?
Mhm.
Okay, so the giggle's going on.
I cut my finger and then I heard it when I slammed it.
You clackered it. I saw that and I couldn't help. Okay.
Let's try that again.
Yeah.
Keep my pain finger. Gotta hide it somewhere. Ready?